Okay, I will share the links. So we are live, apparently. All right, we are live on Abstract, definitely. Hi, Kaito. Welcome to the Archive Breach.
GM, everyone. Thank you for having me. A second guest is okay, I guess.
Oh, no.
You really wanted to have Cav first. It is what it is, but no.
Yeah, you don't even want to know what someone just said. How can you do this to invite Hillary Clinton after you had a date with Sydney Swiney?
Where is this comment?
Oh, no. Someone just messaged me earlier today just to make sure I'm going to tell this to you. So, but I can't see. This is not a comparison, also not a competition. You are both very important to me, and I see you guys are doing a fantastic job, and I'm extremely glad you took the invitation and you're here in the show.
Of course,
so welcome.
I really love this. I mean, perhaps like if I can shield you a bit, like Rolly's been like streaming forever on Abstract, and you stream every day. So just go and check it out. Keep supporting, because like people that does this kind of thing, and in general, like bosses that do these kind of things are like they even realize how valuable these things are for, right? To us, especially to me, to Kev, to the team, it's just beautiful, and also to other, right, like other bosses around the space. It's just like a beautiful thing to have. So yeah, thank you so much for doing
that. That's my pleasure. I mean, I'm long time planning. It was a long time planning behind. I should have started earlier. I will be honest. When you try to get to the perfect moment, you're waiting for the perfect moment. Is sometimes it's just not the way to do. Just to do things, and that's what I needed. I started the stream and invited Kev, I invited you, and I'm planning to invite many others from the community and also from the team, because there is some important topics we need to discuss. Maybe we can discuss it today, but I definitely love to touch base on every single aspect on the Final Boss universe.
Absolutely. Let's whatever question you have, I'm gonna answer, and if I cannot answer, I'm just gonna be DMing you. Yo, don't. No, we can talk about
that. Honestly, when I thought of you, that's the first thing which pops into my mind. That's a community building and the strong feel for the honesty and the integrity towards anime and the project and Final Boss. That was the reason I really love to bring you on the show, to see how you imagine the community is rallying behind Final Boss. I know we have ups and downs as we are against all odds. We are fighting uphill battles sometimes, but I see so many passionate members on the Discord and on Twitter showing up every day. Do you have any plans what you can share if you try to activate the community in any ways in the close future? Or
so that's a very interesting question, because obviously we have enhanced big time the communication in the last a couple of weeks, like from one month now. We really after the first period where we try to set up as Kev said as well, the internal workflow, the internal structure of the company and such, in a way that we could streamline workflow for such a small team to be able to work in a better way, in a faster way, and to deliver quality as usual while having fun, right? Obviously, we were looking at perfection at one point, and I think that perfection kind of slowed us slightly down on certain aspects. But now we are like fully into builder mode, and we are like developing so many things, and also like working on future steps. So on multiple levels, from the level of like short term to the level of like long term and medium as well. So there are like a lot of things onto the works. Some things are very big in that sense, especially like when it comes down to also doing real life events. I can't wait to share more, but it's the kitchen is cooking, so it's very, I'm very happy to see that, and I'm very happy to be back having fun doing that, right? Because like I think I can speak for many, but and for who knows me especially, like I'm chaos. I'm literally chaos. I'm chaotic, and I thrive into that chaos. I bring chaos because I feel like that chaos usually is what really shows who's real and who's not, and really tells you by nature who's there because they want to be there, right? The whatever we've done in the past, even the ranking system, right? That was chaos, pure chaos. No, nobody, not even myself, we knew what was going on, but we knew that the real ones were there with us throughout the journey. So the future plans for the community and such, just to that was just to give some context. But like going into your question, the future plans are very simple and at the same time effective. So expand the culture, ensure a cultural growth, and that's what I'm focusing more on. Right, this is something that I've spoken with the team. As Kaito, I'm going to focus a lot more on the cultural growth of things, rather than just like community strategy per se. Like these, because when you say community strategy, you imagine like, let me attach my battery charger, sorry. So when you think about community strategy, you always think about Discord and this and that, or like the classic stuff, but I'm trying to see things as I've always done, onto a deeper level, and obviously without neglecting on one side the attention game that you always need to like to play, and on the other side the lore, the culture that comes within and from the Final Boss brand. So what does it mean in like actual steps? It means that we are trying to organize. I mean, we are organizing some campaigns and a kind of like community economy that will enhance the community engagement, but also the community growth, and provide value that goes beyond likes and comments, and engage that survives only within itself and then dries out. So we're trying to evaluate these kind of like campaigns. A little bit like of it was like my campaign with the Kazegami, right? Like stuff like that. Now that was a simple giveaway, stuff like that. So it's very.
Oh, that was amazing. I love that.
I know, right? Because it's very trivial, it's very easy, it's very naive.
If you had a bit more time, I had actually artists asking me, what the deadline, because they wanted to jump in and create some art, but they ran out of time.
Yeah, that was simply a kind of like way to see these interactions. Now, I think that I call them naive because I think that those are like the very easiest and laziest way that you can do like these kind of things, where you can build like a bit of network and engagement, right? And visibility. Even if that came out of like a place of like, it was Saturday, I was like, fuck it, why not? I'm just gonna do a little giveaway because I feel like, and that turned out to be for many like something very cool, and as you said, and very funny, right? So that's the part that I'm talking about, like having fun. The team has an amazing quality in terms of talents and visions, because we are very visionary. We have the talent. We know what we want to do and what we have fun doing, and we know the people that is with us what they want and how they will have fun through these things. So now is rather about pushing to those levels, enhancing the lore, enhancing the culture within Final Boss, without drying up anything. Because I often say this, and then I'm gonna pass the mic to you because I talk a lot. But I always say, like, when people come to me asking me like, I have this thing in mind, I have this project, I would like to write this story, I would like to do this and that. I always try to take it like from a realistic perspective, because if they're already dreaming about it, because usually I'm a dreamer, but like if they're already dreaming about it, I want to make sure that they also see the fact that, okay, if you do, let's say, a manga right now, to who are you gonna send it? To who you want to show it? Who will actually go there and check it out, right? It's tough for many to see effectively who will be interested in you and not on the noise. So I want for everyone to be free of that, like to be sure that what they're doing is something that they notice from the inside rather than from the outside, right? So I'm trying to set up like the next steps, always keeping this in mind.
I mean, you don't need to stop. I love to listen to you. I love to obviously, if you talk more, you might spill some beans, and then maybe, who knows, we're gonna get an offer here. But you were not planning to say. But you know what? That's all great. My thought was, when I was wondering what the final boss's next steps could be, that I was thinking about to open to new platforms like. I know that could put lots of pressure on the team as well, just to get on Instagram, maybe a bit more active on Instagram, or get to Reddit and have like a real anime community, give you honest feedback, go on live event, just have a small stall, probably that's feasible, and step outside the Web3 bubble and get an honest feedback, and build a community from outside. And also these people can join, because when we talk about NFTs, we talk about Web3. That usually comes down to Twitter or Discord, but that's a very small bubble. How I imagine the final Bosu, that's definitely outside of this bubble, and definitely well known worldwide, and the stories and the word to be introduced to the wider audience. I know. Most likely, when you were talking about your plans, that was maybe something you were thinking about too.
Yeah.
Could you go down on the Reddit road?
So I'm one of the biggest pusher for Reddit usually, Reddit and all the anime forums and such. So let me say it this way, right? Like, if you go out there and you say Web3, first people will be like, "What the fuck is Web3?" And secondly, if you say NFTs, they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, NFTs was not that a bubble? Is still there?" Or even worse, like, "Oh, those are all scams," and etc. etc. So when you approach the anime fandom and fans, I think you need to do that gradually, and I think that you need to do that smartly, right? So the angle that we are taking things into Instagram, for example, and TikTok and such, is the content angle, right? And we are preparing that. Like, we are working on that. We have like a task force that is like actively working on that, so that we can produce a lot of things into for these socials. The Reddit example is good because, like, it's a dangerous ground if you don't take things in a particular way, and that's why, like, in my opinion, it's better to approach that from a different angle and with a different time. So I what I'm trying to say is that it's not the right time, in my opinion, to go for it now. It could be the right time if we have a certain strategy that I already have in mind. But I want first to grow within Instagram and a bit more like visual socials, because that's what will hit a lot. And then you can go into Reddit and this kind of like words which are full of like anime fans, and they're also very harsh, right? Because like,
Yep,
people comment, they're based on
true.
comments. So it's
they will take it to pieces. That's the thing. So you have to have the lore and the word set in place before the strategies would be implemented. I agree with you, but I think that's great to hear you were thinking about the Reddit, to go down in the Reddit rabbit hole, because you could get tens of thousands of fans joining the franchise.
Yeah, no, they will, right? Like, and that's why, like, I always talk on my calls, like, about the three pillars, in my opinion, right? This is Kaito's opinion, but like the three pillars being Web3 on one side, then you have the anime on the other, and then you have, as third pillar, you have the against the odds culture, right? Because like they really like can address three different audiences with three different like completely mindsets, and they can create like hypothetically three different mindset and sub communities, right, within it, and multiple communities even within it. Like capillarity is something that we need. Um, is just the time of it and the quality of it, right? It's if you mix the right quality and strategy, I think you're gonna hit, and we're gonna hit because like the story is just like as good as it can be. Like it's amazing, right? Like the the final boss story, it's something that really you can relate with and really pushes you to be like, oh shit, like I have to fight, like I have really to should I stop? Like it puts you in that human condition of like asking yourself like what's right and what's not, and at the same time fighting, because like you want to grow but you cannot grow, otherwise the final boss gonna come out. So will you fight your fears and get to the battle, or will you try to keep like injecting yourself and forgetting stuff, right? So it's the story, the anime itself, it's valid, it's amazing. I think it's top notch, top tier like story and narrative. The against the odds culture as well is top tier, because you know it's every single one of us has a gay so odd story, right? It can be naive, it can be complicated, it can be sad, it can be happy, but all of us have that, and you resonate with that message. It's like it strikes you, right? And then you have the Web3 part of things, where you have a team that has always been here, right? Like it's and has always put like their faces like on the front line, and you know be real, and you know build like the way they wanted to build, redefining sometimes some strategies, because like a few strategies that we did, we have never seen them in the space, or if we have seen them, we have seen them in a different shape and form. So yeah.
Honestly, the against the odd culture, that must be like a flagship of crypto Twitter. So I'm
Big time, yes.
yeah, big time, 100%. So it should be everyone who is on crypto Twitter, they should own a final boss. They just have it rocking as a profile picture. But also, when you're looking at the collection and you think that the numbers, the hoarder numbers, the final boss still hold a very strong base of over 3,000 hoarders, and that's then you can tell that only a quality project have like a percentage based hoarder numbers this high. Um, when I see that, I know in the Kesum archive or the wiki, I'm visiting almost every day and trying to learn and just trying to find a hidden Easter eggs here and there. Is I know this is I don't want to push for anything, but
Do your
do
thing, bro.
yeah, do you know when we can get some more update, or if I would love to have Jeff for an open conversation and maybe just have an announcement about it. What we are as holders, as fans of Final Bossy, are used for creating stories or creating some experiences for the wider community, because I know that the Mountain of Might and Kesuma City, and I mentioned to Kev last week that the Kesuma Station, where the people arrive from Metora, that always gives so many ideas to create a story, but also I might don't want to start it without like a writer's permission, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's a harder question. Maybe this is for
No,
Jeff.
no, no, no. It's Like, you mean also quality check, right? Like in that sense, like, do you mean for them like to be featured in the wiki as well?
Not necessarily feature it in the wiki, but just to make sure if I write a story that won't be like completely against the main plot line,
Yeah,
or I won't create anything but it's absolutely no way
it's
it would
it's a
exist in
very
the world.
interesting question, and you know, we had this question asked. Definitely, there is going to be some guidelines, right? Like, you know, you can you can. I mean, as of now, there are no guidelines in that sense, right? There is just common sense. Probably the common sense is like the main guideline as of now. There's definitely going to be some guidelines into the IP utilization and such. Your characters are yours, right? And we are working on the licensing platform and collector profile because of that, right? Because we want to make
Yeah,
sure that's like that's something that you can do also by yourself.
I know it takes time, so that's a
It takes some
legal
time.
part is always takes time.
It takes some time, and you know, definitely I think that's a future where you write something hentai or kind of like going into the not safe for work kind of environment things. I think that's for common sense shouldn't happen, but you know, I think you can take it in any direction you want. If you know you at the end of the day, is about the respect that you have for yourself, for your time, because, and this is something that I often say, right? Like, rather than guidelines on the quality and on the narrative, quality, why not, but like on the narrative, I think you should like be able to imagine whatever you want and write down and create whatever the hell you want. However, it comes down to your time, right? Like, it's like you create this thing for who you are creating it is the same thing that I said earlier, right? Like, if you want to create a story, right, as of now, what will ensure that you don't dry out after a few days or a few weeks? What will like help you not burning out? Look at the Bose archives, right? Like, the Bose archives were done by man I forgot his name. I forgot this Bozo, but the Bozo archives by Zero X. Anyway, a friend of mine that came also from the Invincible community, and he created the Bozo archives, Ion, and he had these beautiful stories. I don't know if you've ever read them. They're very beautiful. And then, like, after a bit, because we were like delaying the mint and the reveal, he stopped doing those like throughout the months. He started like in January, and now he's not very active. Probably also for his personal stuff.
Yeah, I spoke to him already. Yeah, I spoke to
Yeah,
him about this.
exactly. So that's a pure example of it, right? Because it was cool. It's like one of the coolest things that I've seen. It's a beautiful page, a beautiful branding, both archives. Everything is cool. It's in the right place. However, if you do that only for the likes, and the likes don't even come, it means that there is like a misalignment also in our setup on how to incentivize and reward this, right? And you don't have necessarily to reward in the Web3 sense of things where you earn points or you earn money or you earn something, but rather like you earn a position within the community, you earn those connections, you earn a path to create this for a much bigger audience and for something bigger, right? And that's why like the main issue for me is not like if the narrative is going to be different from what we thought and what we created and for our pilots and such, but rather if any kind of like spin-off or special story or side story that the community creates with their own characters or main story, because for them is a main story, like anything created in a story form is actually something valuable for you, your time, you know, and everything that surrounds you and your path. So I think that that's like the most complicated thing, and I guess that's nobody really went much deep into that in the Web3 space, right? We have seen
Yeah.
so many. Look at Steve G. Steve G create like he has a series, bro. Like he created an animated series on Pudgy and on Azuki, right? That's some crazy stuff. That's so top notch quality. But how do you make sure that he wins? And not necessarily with floor prices, with NFTs, with airdrops. Like, how do you make sure that that talent doesn't go unnoticed and actually he can work also for bigger things or eventually end up with his short movies in Netflix or whatever like you want, right? I think that that's like the question that I always see things on, because I want for everyone to be set for success, and not like success in a way of like making money only, but also positioning themselves for the long run and for always a bigger growth.
I understand. So it's really important to you guys to get the creators who put the work in to get rewarded in on certain ways. Maybe by recognition, maybe by earning a certain position on the team or on the project. I hear Kaito, you're frozen.
Yeah, frozen for my Wi-Fi. I don't know why my Wi-Fi keeps like like often during the day, at least one or twice, it keeps dropping on me. I don't know. Anyway,
So I have two other things to say. Like one of them is Tronica. Just I saw that he mentioned in the chat about the suitcases, and we had a conversation in Discord the other day. I was wondering why there are so many melee weapons on the characters, and where are the ranged weapons? Why we can't see it? They carrying any? Is it a reason behind that's like a magic and technology is not matching on the word? So this is all questions we need to ask, and we ended up saying like, oh, probably the suitcases are some kind of weapons, and okay, this is all speculation. That's you don't you never heard it from me, but this is just a speculation what the community started, and we were going all round and round.
look, the thing is this, right? Suitcases are cool as fuck.
You don't need to say anything.
No, they're cool. They're cool. I mean, you can see the trailer, right? Like the trailer, you can see the trailer. I think that the trailer is very clear on what the suitcase is, and it's gonna be very fun. Like the suitcases are gonna be probably one of the funnest part of Final Boss in that sense. Like who doesn't want the suitcase telling them the na per ciento? Like it's no, they're gonna be fun. But I cannot like I'll leave Mustayaki and Jeff like speak more on this.
Yeah. Yeah, let's ask them when they are here, hopefully in a couple of weeks. My other thought was when we are talking about stories and writing and well, how we can get involved. I probably mentioned it to you a few weeks ago. I'm playing role playing games, D&D, Cyberpunk, Star Wars for almost 30 years now, and my first thought was regarding the finables in the universe, like, oh my god, that would be so fun to play as a character and have your stories, sit down by the table or join your friends online via video conference and just play, have a storyteller telling you the story and the world of Kasumu City, and you as a character, you can be in any faction, different classes to play the game. So that's why I was thinking to develop some kind of system and have the people interact in the world and be a part of it. So that's how I went down to a Reddit road. I was quite active like a few years ago on Reddit when we were working with my brother on a different project. But I can imagine a great success from these stories and from the Findables universe just stepping in on the Reddit roads. I'm not pushing Reddit anymore. I just stopped here.
Yeah, you know, like obviously there is potential in any kind of like sector with Final Boss. I think from the gaming one to any really sector. I just think that we need to focus like in building like also stuff like on abstract, because look, abstract is just amazing in a sense of like building stuff on, right? Like simple games now, like they're played by everyone. I know that you have the XP incentives as of now, right, etc. So it's pretty GE and everyone like is excited about it, and a lot of games are like set in a they come from like a kind of like casino kind of like, I mean, Web3 is a casino, crypto is a casino sometimes, right? Like it feels just that way. But yeah, no, definitely there is a much potential into the narrative, and also in developing that into different formats such as games and such, right? And I wish to go forward like with my eyes of 5 years, 10 years from now, and see like what we will develop, because it's not gonna be just a team, but it's gonna be all of us, right? Like, you know, I'm sure there's like out there are gonna be boss who's like building dope stuff, and like building on top of this narrative, and have like, you know, the storytelling driving these games or driving these like activities and activations. So I definitely see that, and I would love for us also to explore that, to be honest. We are
That would be lovely. I heard from many other bosses. They are planning to do their own merchandise. Um, did do you have anything planned for an official merchandise, or what we can do? I mean, I would run my business. I mean, I'm running my bus in my watch, so
love it.
I would love to have a T-shirt with like an archive breach
As of
on the
now,
back. And
yeah. As of now, we had Bozo Factory, Magic Graphics Art and Millie. They did like some merch for Cannes in
yeah,
France when we went to the event. It was amazing. I still have my shirt. I'm gonna send one. Actually, I'm gonna send mine to Chris very soon. And yeah, no, it's definitely something in the pipeline. Look, the thing is this. I'm gonna say that very transparently. Like, in my opinion, like NFT projects in general should have like done like drops, like, you know, monthly drops, seasonal drops. Like, why not? Fuck it. Are you an IP? Like, just do that. Like, why not? Like, you have if you raise money, you have the capacity to do that. You have the fans to do that. You can deliver that. Like, in my opinion, obviously that's the naive Kaito. Obviously,
yeah, that's a yes and no. I would say yes and no.
exactly.
I would say as a hoarder, yes, do it. But as a hoarder who thinks long term, yeah, no, you shouldn't. If someone wants marriage, they can pay for it. Well, I'm
No,
sorry.
of course, and I don't think necessarily to that you do it for them, but like it's rather like a way of, in my opinion, and that's why the community economy is important, right? Like
Yeah.
before Mint, we had these bozo points on the server. That's especially the legacy people were like accumulating, and these points would reflect to a market that we had on the website, right? Um, I imagine it's something like this. Like when I talk about rewards, I don't talk about like, you know, farming and airdrops and blah blah. I think about what's a way that we can allow all of us to engage with each other, not purely from a like and a
Mm.
retweet perspective, but like really engage with each other, get to know each other, get to jump on codes, get to jump on the voice chat and talk to each other, gets to share ideas, get to, you know, build together. And based on your participation, like, you know, proof of participation, proof of work, you start getting like, you know, accumulating points or whatever like system it could be. And then you have like this special drops or special like things, and instead of like dropping that only to a certain like people, or to a certain like holders, or to a certain like this and that, like you actually kind of like liberalize that, like, and democratize that, where, you know, the more you participate, the more you support each other, the more you're going to be able to unlock these kind of things. It's the same thing as the collector profile. Obviously, again, this is not a fan about talking, this is Kaito talking, right? This is my idea of it. We're gonna come up, and we are coming up with something that goes in between, obviously, that's, you know, that we always like work in between, but that's the main goal, right? Like when I say that, like merch, I think is like a vital part of an IP, is a vital part in all of our lives, because Kev, myself, like Bara, every one of us have like some stuff from anime, right? We grew up with that. Like, it's my room is actually like yours right now. It's upstairs, so there's a work from here. It's like, you know, I like to collect. So merch is, and I like to wear stuff from anime, especially. So I can't wait to have like our first drop of merch and such, and definitely at one point we're gonna have some, you know. And on abstract, just to close the topic, like on abstract, you also have Dilly. Dilly is an amazing tool
Yeah.
for whoever wants to do merch. Dilly is an amazing tool to open your page, start producing. Even if you don't have the people to produce for you stuff, you can simply put your logo on the daily website and you're going to have full merch, and you don't have to pay nothing, because it's going to be the community paying for their own thing. Your community, obviously, not the fan boss. I'm talking like if if Rolly creates like his own page on Dilly, he can sell. You can sell actually the archive bridge. You could do the mugs with the logo, and you could sell them as easy as that. So I think
awesome.
that's like a great tool, and you don't need to worry about delivery. You don't need to worry about storage. You don't need to worry about nothing. So
That's great. That's great, because we obviously want, all of us want merch, but I also don't want to put this pressure on the team, because don't want the fans to dry out.
We pressure ourselves already. Like I want merch too. I want merch as well.
I know, but I also, probably you think the same. You don't want to spend the money on merch, and you rather pay two extra months of salary down the line. So that's also need to consider. A few years ago, Zeneko said something, and it's really resonate with me. The time when the holders of NFT project thought they pay a one-time fee, and they end up with the lifetime opportunities and goods free from that project. That should be ended. And I hope we are educated ourselves, and the Web3 evolve that much, so people are understand on the mint price. When you mint a project, you are the basically is a Kickstarter. When you kickstart the project, and also you also need to put down the work. I know we went through a few times on this with Ken. The community also need to put down the work and show up every single day, and show support to the team, and show support for the project on X, on Discord, and every single channel. It's not simply your responsibility. You can't just come in and blame Kaito. Oh, you are a bozo. You didn't shield enough.
Kaito.
So Kevin, Kaito, you didn't shield enough. So that's why we're in trouble. Now we need to do this every single day.
It's a very good point. And I've talked about this in the timeline in the last 2 days. By the way, I love how Tronica said that's why, despite how long it takes for the team to drop, when we lose momentum, you guys always find a way to get us first spawn at Metora. But yeah, Rolly for president.
Yeah,
so look, it's a very delicate topic. Okay, I think that we lack education, and I think that we lack spirit of initiative in space when it comes down to upgrading yourself. Keep learning, keep positioning yourself in a way that you're a student. I think that previous to Web3, we had this way of saying, oh, this young generation, such as mine, they make money out of nothing, doing the influencers and such, and they lose the grasp of the reality, right? Like they really like lose it. I think it's the same way. In the same way, it's happening in the timeline, right? We have NFTs communities that are used, actually NFTs users and collectors that are used to the toxic ways that we have seen in the past. And that allows for classic and repeated hype loops, repeated like team ragging, repeated like, wrong actions and initiatives being pushed because, hey, I mean, yeah, that's a bad thing, but you know what? I'm gonna make a bag. I'm gonna mint that shit and sell it. That's it. So I really find important for every single NFT community out there to keep educating themselves, to keep learning, to keep putting themselves into this new context. And that's why, like I shared today, like, the perfect kind of like combination that you need, the perfect community recipe is literally in education, putting things into context, and understanding where you're putting your wealth. And your wealth can be your time, your money, whatever like you find valuable, right? It's a very delicate topic because we don't realize that. And who realizes that is a real investor, is a real collector, is someone that position themselves for the best outcome. Who doesn't? They're gonna always do these up and downs. But what's if these up and downs they finish? What if like everything ends? Will you remain with, right? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one, and it's something that I want to push. It's something that I want for everyone to understand, because I think it's very important that we push for this education, and we push for communities that can position themselves for and beyond the timeline. So it's tough, man. It's not easy, because again, like, you always end up like in the same cycles. The timeline is very small. You said that earlier. Like Web3 is very small. It's very small, and you could drop like a full seven episodes anime right now. It wouldn't make noise. It wouldn't. It's as simple as that. Look at Shinsei Galverse. They hit Amazon Prime Japan. They have a full episode on Amazon Prime Japan. Did that move the floor price? Not even one bit. I know that is a kind of like gray area example, because their Web3 focus has been like very niche down to a certain community, and they have a very strong community, but the timeline and the attention game probably is not considering them, right? Which sucks.
Shifted somewhere else,
because they deliver quality, and they're there. I mean, like, we always hear projects saying like, oh, we're gonna be on Netflix, we're gonna be on Amazon, we're gonna be there and there. They did it. Did that change something for them Web3 wise? No. That's why like it's important for teams, obviously, to play the attention game, to play the Web3 game, to bring innovation and new ways into, or just sustainable ways in Web3. And on the other side, though, it's also up to us holders, because I put myself as a holder as well in the first place, right? Like, if you put things into context, and if you educate yourself to be an investor, because I started this conversation saying that nowadays everyone can be an investor, because in NFTs everyone feels an investor. Yeah, I bought an NFT, so what should I expect from you? Like, I bought an NFT, so why my investment is this and that? Which is fair. It's fair. However, it becomes unfair if you don't educate yourself to go beyond the classic, like, yeah, I'm just buying to sell later, right?
Yeah. When floor price is going up, they'll do something.
Just buy what you like. That's my thing, and put things into context. So if you buy a Bozu because you believe in the vision, it means that you're going beyond certain things, certain loops. Now, you can buy Bozu because you want to trade the NFT, and that's fine, right? That's perfectly fine. Actually, I invite you to do so, but that like defines you there, limits you into that rail, right? And that limits also projects into that rail. Our floor price now is down. The USDC value is still up, but the floor price is down. And obviously, we live in a timeline that half people like consider ETH, half people considers UDC. So it's a bit of a chaos there. But like, does that mean that the quality is no longer there? Does that mean that the team is not able to? Like, obviously there was like this 2 months of like, preparing everything to run and such. But like, what does it mean, right? So I think these are topics that we have seen all over the timeline again and again, and we're gonna keep seeing them. But I'll never stop talking about these things, because in my opinion is what drives like the conversion of degens, from degens to real collectors, to real investors, to real builders as well. I think that everyone should have that mindset of educating themselves on being the best version of themselves, but also like the best investor. Like, yes, I'm in NFTs, I'm an investor. Like, what can I invest on? Like, it's not everything is granted. So
also, you have to have your goal set and your expectations set in the same time. On my stream, we had this conversation about the floor price earlier today. And actually, I just said the same than you did. Like, in ETH terms is lower, but in USD terms are up or the same than the mean price. So that's not even taking under consideration. And my other answer was, I don't know what's the floor price. I have no idea. I'm not telling I won't sell. I will sell probably a few because
Yeah, you should. You should.
I ended up with 18 and I know I want to keep probably 10, but I really like, and maybe I will swap around and just trade them to have maybe a few more what I I couldn't acquire yet. But you have to have your expectations and your goals set and align with yourself. Don't pressure others for your decision, because no
Yeah.
one else put press the button for you. I didn't buy the NFT for you. You did.
You are educated.
So
You are an educated investor. That's the thing, right? Like that's fair. Like, and nobody will self shame. Like nobody. Right? Like it's actually I'm the first one that says like, yo, if it makes sense, if it puts you in struggle in life, like sell. Like why not? You know, I've seen people like be like, yeah, I cannot, not sure if I can pay my rent. Like sell. Like it's as simple as that. Like if it
your
puts you
life, yes, your life is first, your family first, and
first,
that's what matters. I ended up with already, I think, 8 or 10 bosses, but I can't sell because I already have plans and stories and stuff. So,
there you are.
that's not even a question. But the others are more fluid. They can go, and I can buy a new one, or I can trade them. That's perfectly fine. But the floor price, usually the floor prices just comes up on the times when the floor price is going
Yeah,
down.
yeah. I mean, as look, the only thing is this, right? Like we should be very aware and wary about floor price. It's something that we should be wary of. It's something that we need to take care of in that sense, because it's a vital part of Web3. Want it or not, is a vital part of Web3. However, I think that teams should not build based on floor price and should not build to affect
Thank
it.
you. I agree in this, and I purposely really trying to avoid any floor price conversation in my shows. I
Yeah,
this is not how we should approach the project, because if this is in front of you and that's what you can just think about, that's not going to happen. Not going to help
yeah.
on anyone.
Comes out naturally, right? It comes out
Yes.
naturally. Like, teams should not build for floor price. Floor price will build up naturally. At least that's what like should be the ideal scenario. Obviously, we live in a space where every MFR could like pump their own bags in dodgy ways as such. We are not doing that. We are not interested in doing that, right? And, I remember this, right? This is crazy to me because like 2 to 3 years ago, teams that would sweep their own collection were seen so bad. Like they were like, oh, these are bad actors. Like that's dodgy. That's not cool. 1 year ago, 2 years ago, it became cool. Out of nothing during the bear market, if a team would sweep their own collection, yes, we want teams to do that. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like
That
that
was
was
a rebranding. It's called "You Buying for Your Treasury."
yeah.
That's why it's just a narrative change. You're not sweeping. You're buying for your treasury. So
Yeah,
that's
that was wild. So it's something that's because like to me that's bad. That's as much as I don't know. That's bad on many levels, in my opinion. It's just not natural. It's just like yes, it can bring the price action up, and it can help a bit, but I don't know. I don't think it brings value. But anyway, so yeah, I think we are not building for that. We are building to make sure that organically that grows. Obviously, also the context and such of being an abstract, the liquidity, the attention and such. A lot of these things like come into account. But yeah.
I think it's Q4 will be very different. This is the last sentence I want to talk about the floor price or anything related.
Yeah. I mean, we ended
So,
up here, but
yeah, this is the very last how I like to close it. So Q4 will be different because there's going to be a couple of liquidity events what would drive more volume to abstract and bring more ETH and tokens
absolutely,
or
abstract is going places. Like you
yes.
guys know Luca. Abstract is going very much like into places as abstract would be huge.
And I am very confident Finabus is positioned on the right place and building with the right mindset. So this is actually not question. That's just question of when this is gonna happen. When Finabus is gonna hit the top spot on abstract, because I still believe that they should hold the top spot on abstract.
100%.
I love what you just said earlier, to get involved the community and community members. That being said, probably I'll be posted on Discord as well and on my Twitter. I like to invite a few community members for the next archive breach for episode 3, just to talk and discuss without the team. Let them leave them aside and let's just find out what we like to do.
Let me know if I can help with that. But no, definitely invite some of these bozos and let them
I
talk.
will. I will do. I will do. I will love to have whoever wants to hear make their voices heard. They can be here, but also Kaito, you and Kev always welcome. And
Yeah, if Cavs is up, I'm not gonna be there.
okay. So we can we can just organize in the way like you in the first 5 minutes and he's in the last 5
There you
minutes.
are.
Just
I like
make
that.
sure you have about 45 minutes between you two, so
I
there's
like that.
no trouble whatsoever.
I like that. Yeah, no, I'm joking,
Well,
but yeah.
actually, it was so lovely to talk to you, Kaito, today. Do you have anything you like to give a shout out to, or you like to share with the community or with the viewers
Yeah,
today?
no, I mean, it has been a lovely journey so far, and a lot more is to come. We are pushing on all sides. Against the odds, it's against the odds. It's you versus you. I always say this. It's if you cannot help yourself, how can you help and support others, right? So, whoever is listening, position yourself in the right way, or in the right way, in the chaos, right way, whatever like way you want. Just position yourself for success and for an eternal like learning loop, right? So that you can like really go beyond the timeline games. You can go beyond the burnouts. You can go beyond all that's like drama stuff that we don't need in this space, right? And it's tough to see that because it's people like tells me, yeah, but it's easy. You work at Final Boss or you do this and that. Like you are like nobody's safe here in this space, right? Nobody's we're moving so fast. We whatever like I do, it could be outdated in 2 days. Whatever I do, it could be not interesting, and probably I spent like days on it, and then I drop it, and it's not interesting. Like, make sure that you build like for a path that is sustainable, rather than like chasing likes and engagement and fake stuff, because that's what we see in the space, and that's why like people like get depressed as soon as like the floor price goes down, or get depressed if someone leaves a chat. Like, it happens. Like it's a flow. It's an eternal streaming flow. The important thing is that it doesn't become a spiral or a loop, but it keeps like going forward, and it keeps like going. That's the only thing. So yeah, I just think that we should talk more about like these things, and we should keep like always like reminding ourselves, because Leonard Booth from Unfungible, he says this often, like, you're not repeating stuff enough. Like, that's what founders and teams need to do, to repeat stuff, because timeline it's forgets things easy. Humans, they forget things easy. So just keep repeating that. We have the against the odds mission. Let's keep repeating that. Let's make sure that everyone on the timeline understands that. And if they heard it 5 times, well, better. They're gonna hear it like 10 more times. So
they will
that's,
remember.
yeah. It's just about that, like going for your path against the odds, and really like try to crush yourself, because you are your worst enemy, your worst final boss. So yeah,
That's true. That's sorry to interrupt you.
no,
No, that's what we want to say. Like, also just do what you feel it makes you happy or makes you grow. Don't be afraid to fight your final boss.
yeah, exactly.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
If
never.
just do things makes you happy. This show makes me happy. I'm so looking forward to this every single week. I'm looking forward to jump into the Discord. I have PTSD from back 21, 22. I really don't like to go to Discord, but I'm regularly going in to find it. Was that probably that's the only Discord I'm going in.
I love that, man. And
So
again, like we're gonna see a lot of more activations, a lot of more of like cooks, and we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna explore stories and worlds, and that's what I care of. Shout out to Tronic as well. It's the boss is like shouting out himself.
so
Like,
Tronica, are you on next week? Tronica, would you be up for next week to join in and take Kaito's place?
there you are. There you are.
You are under the spotlight now. Why
There
not?
you are.
Why not typing, Tronica?
All right, I'll have to drop off, but brother, thank you so much.
That was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank
For
you
me
very
too, man.
much for everyone who was with us and listen. That will be available on YouTube, so you can watch the recording if you miss that.
Absolutely. I'll actually like download the video. We can maybe do like some clips. But anyway, thank you so much, brother. I'll jump off. I need to go and keep cooking, brother.
Thank you, Kaito, and thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Oh, brother, I'll have to run.